Hello, dear listener, and welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland, a preview prod. It's me and Jace. You all right, Jace?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you today?
Well, I've had the shits all day, so we'll move on from that because it's not been much fun for me.
It's all right. Arsenal had the shits on Sunday, so let's hope we put our big boy adult diapers on and keep it to ourselves on Thursday.
Well, that's maybe what set me off. I've had 2 lots of it, fucking gluten, ever since that game. So that game has made me ill. How dare you? Right, I want a no claim, no fee solicitor. Anyway, right, so it's Arsenal v Napoli in the Europa League this Thursday night. I think it's an 8 p.m. kickoff. In the UK, you can watch that on BT Sport. In the USA, Univision Deportes, which I think is they do that in Spanish, don't they?
Yes, sí.
Ah, good. Bueno. And Bleacher Report Live. No idea what that is.
Yeah, it's a streaming service.
Ah. Yeah. In Canada, you got a DAZN. They don't have any stations in America that in Canada that aren't just letters. That DAZN. I don't think that's a word. In Australia, you got it on Optus Sport, and in Ireland, Virgin TV and BT Sport. So about time you did the head-to-head for the last few meetings, which I've already gone down and edited the wrong one. There you go. I'm on the right one now.
There we are. Yeah. So, we played them last time we played them. I think the only time we really played them in sort of recent history was the 13-14 season, and we beat them in the opening game of the group stages of the Champions League 2-0 with 2 wonderful goals from one Mesut Ozil when he still cared, and Olivier Giroud when he wasn't being a lamppost, as Danny liked to call him. Yeah, and then that was the same season, though, that we ended up I think we came in second that league in the group stage there and still had to play Bayern and went out to Bayern on the 3-1 aggregate. So, but yeah, so the last time we played them was in the group stage there, and it was pretty evenly split there. Each of us getting I didn't even go to the second match in the group stage there. They won 2-0 with Higuain and Callejon getting goals for them. So no Higuain because he's gotten fat and is now in South London, and Callejon's still there, but he's a little older, so hopefully a lot slower.
He's 32 now. Yeah, I think he's one of the few remaining players from that game.
Young man, to be 32 again. two years ago.
God, 32. I think we were just about to do our last double, 0102.
You were just about to get the first car, right? That came out for production in England. That's when you were 32. It's
steam driven. It was a thing of beauty.
You said the crank the front of it. Yeah, but getting back into the reason people are here. Arsenal, we have played some Italian teams lately. Most recently, last season. We played Milan in the Europa League, and we beat them 3-1. I want to say that's on aggregate, I believe.
No, that was one game.
No, that was one game. And then it looks like we also beat them 2-0 as well. So that was last year. I want to say that was the quarterfinals. Was that this round last year as well that we played an Italian team?
I think it was. We all expected to go there and get hammered. Yeah, we did well.
Yeah, we did. That was when Gattuso gave that great quote about us that I won't repeat. But we all remember the 2012 disgusting game against AC Milan as well as one of our more recent games against an Italian team too, where we went there and they had resodded their pitch, and it was basically like playing in a flooded field because the grass was so thick, and they beat us 4-0 after we had a 1-goal lead. So, it's unfortunate. Year before that, though, we played Udinese in the Champions League as well, and we beat them on a 3-1 aggregate in 2011. So, decent success against Italian teams. Obviously, Milan, or not Milan, but Napoli, a good side. Nothing to just breeze over like we thought we could do with Everton. That's for sure. I'll let you do the current form, though, for both teams. How are both teams looking at the moment right now, Danny?
Well, apparently I put in that we'd played 4, we'd drawn 4, and we'd won 4, so we managed to get. And then you pointed out that I'd messed it up. So our home form, all competitions, we've played 4, won them all. We've scored 12, conceded 1, and had 3 clean sheets.
Yeah.
And Napoli, their last 4 away games, all competitions, won 1, drawn 1, lost 2, scored 7, conceded 7, and had 0 clean sheets. Now, when I did that, I was going to look back at how we've done in the Europa League. So I'd have done our last 4 Europa League games, but then that's probably going to go all the way back to the beginning of the season. I don't think that form is relevant. So I think current form in all competitions is more relevant than going back over the Europa League, because we've got more players at the moment than we did at the beginning of the season. Yeah. So but like you were saying, they are a decent team. And you did the injuries and suspensions, because I think this could be quite important for us. We've got quite
I'm going to start with Napoli, and then we'll move on to Arsenal, so we're going to have a sort of a larger debate here. But for Napoli, it looks like their injuries are suspensions, and I'm not sure which one's which, but a couple of
both injuries,
both injuries. So both of these are a little older names, and if you played Football Manager 11, you'll definitely recognize both of them because they're very highly rated. Raul Albiol is their center back who's injured, and then Amadou Diawara is also injured, their defensive midfielder. So hopefully with some injuries there at the back for them, we can take advantage. For us though, Koscielny going to be a late fitness test. That could be key, especially having to play. Socrates is going to have to play due to the suspension he picked up in the league. I think we got to make sure that we keep him playing and keep him sort of match fit. We can keep Koscielny on the bench, hopefully, if he passes his fitness test, and maybe get him a couple of minutes maybe later in the match. Xhaka's still dealing with that groin strain. He's going to have a late fitness test. And then Welbeck's out, Holding is out, and Bellerin is out as well. So nothing too major. Luckily, it looks like the Aaron Ramsey sort of groin issue is going away. Hopefully, he'll be able to start this match. I think we really need him. But from an injuries and suspension standpoint, Xhaka, I think, is going to be the real key for us as well, because without him this season, we've really not looked like the same midfield. So hopefully he can get that groin strain under control and maybe put in even just a substitute performance if we need him to come off the bench for us.
Yeah, would you? What would your midfield lineup be? Because the defensive one, we're going to have to probably go with wing backs, aren't we? And it's going to have to be Socrates, Mustafi, and Monreal at the back. We haven't really got much choice with that. Kolasinac one side, Maitland-Niles the other side. Although looking back at some of those games we played, Jenkinson has played a lot of Europa League games for us and Champions League games for us. That's quite often where he's been playing. But this in the middle of the park is, I think, it's going to be important. But would you play Mesut, because it's considering it's at home?
I would play Mesut considering it's at home. I'd also, instead of playing him on the wing, I'd play him behind 2 strikers in Aubameyang and Lacazette, because I think we really need to make sure that we have to put their head in the guillotine and really make sure that they don't score any away goals, and make sure that we've got enough of a goal advantage going to their place. So we only need 1 or 2 in Naples there. So I think probably the midfield that I would like to see, really the most important part would, hopefully if he can pass the fitness test, I'd love to see Xhaka in there next to Torreira, where we're a little more defensively solid. But both of those players can still take the ball and do things offensively. Leave Guendouzi on the bench, put Mesut in there, put Rambo in there, and then almost a 4-2-2-2, which looks like Napoli play. But I'm sure we can have some sort of way that we can try to fit all those players in the park at the same time, or if not Xhaka, then Guendouzi by Torreira, even though he didn't have a great game, obviously. If I see the ghost of a midfield, I'll call it the ghost of Jacob Marley, which is El Neni and Guendouzi, continuing to haunt us. What was funny was the fact that you could walk through our midfield as if they were ghosts. That was the problem against Everton. So hopefully we got some more solidity in there, a little more confidence in a partnership that's played better. So, but I do think I would want to play Mesut, but I want to play him a little more centrally, so where he can really support the attackers there. And I think you got to start. I'd even try to go 4 at the back. I'd go ahead and pull out Kolasinac. I think had a terrible game. He looks a little run down. put Nacho in at left back, play 2 at the 4 at the back instead of with wing backs. Still put AM in at right back, but that's the great thing because I think we could. I think it's a 50-50 chance right now that we could see that or see the 3 at the back. I have no clue. So that's one of the more fun things about trying to guess what Emery's going to do with our lineups, specifically with the back 4 and the 2 right in front of the back 4, the back 3.
Yeah, I think it's important because their formation, they started the season playing a 4-3-3. I think they did that for 3 league games. Then they moved on to the kind of formation we play, 4 at the back, 2 central midfield, 2 out wide. I can do this because it's not going on iTunes. You can actually see and make point of what I'm doing, man. 2 out wide, 2 up front. That's the kind of formation that so many Arsenal fans want to see Arsenal playing. And I'm not sure if Emery should go out there and mirror their formation because I don't want Ashley Maitland-Niles playing at right back as in a back 4 because he struggles with the defending. We saw against Everton that he is not a defender, and that is that you don't want to ruin a player's career. But if we are going to play 4 at the back, I'd rather see Jenkinson play there. At least he's going to be able to get stuck in and against those dirty Italians.
I'd still rather have Maitland-Niles. I know he could come under some criticism, but I know he's put in really good performances as a right back for us in the past. So, I think I have more confidence in him right now than I do Jenkinson. Plus, I don't think that Napoli has the width that Everton's going to have. They may want to try to play a little more centrally, hopefully. So I'd still rather see AMN get that spot. Definitely bring the Corporal. And if AMN's not having a good game at it, hopefully Emery would be willing to take him off. And hopefully he'd say, hey, it's time for Jinko to get a call out and see what Jinko can do. I don't think Jenkinson's done anything wrong. I just think the level of player that AMN is above Jenkinson right now.
How about Mustafi at right back? Like he tried that once, didn't he?
No.
Okay, well, we'll move on to Napoli
put him
players.
On the right back of the bench.
Maybe
that'd be sufficient.
He did have a
good. He actually wasn't awful on Sunday. Our performance was not down to him being terrible. I will say that
it was down to the front being clueless.
It was down to the 4 midfielders that we had on there not knowing what the F that they needed to do with the ball, or 5 midfielders that we had not knowing what the F to do with the ball. So,
and the referee thinking that WrestleMania would come about 5 hours too early.
Yeah.
Right, players on Napoli side we need to look out for.
Yeah, so Milik, who's one of their forwards, he's 38 games, 19 goals, 4 assists. Obviously, you all know about Dries Mertens, 39 games, 14 goals, 11 assists. So he's sort of got that. They've almost got sort of that like duo, sort of how we have with Aubameyang, who's the goal getter and a couple of assists, and then they've got their Laka and Dries Mertens, who can go get goals and assists. And then we've also got to watch out for Insigne. I really love watching him play for the Italian national team. I think he's a really great player. He's 35 games this season, 13 goals, 7 assists, really dangerous. And then their right winger Callejon, 38 games, 4 goals, 13 assists though. So they're getting a lot of production from those guys right there, and that's who we really need to watch out for and make sure that we understand where their runs are going to come from and where they're going to be receiving the ball, because those 2 wide players really like to feed it into the box there to those strikers. So we got to make sure that we're careful with that. And past that, I think you got to look at their goalkeeper as well, who's 17 games, and in those 17 games he's got 9 clean sheets in Emirates. So really got to make sure that we have more shots. I think that's a big area where we've improved. Is having more shots and make sure should we shoot more, and then making sure that we actually are putting away the chances that we should. I know a bunch of people are complaining about Aubameyang now not putting away chances, but if you go back and watch him at Dortmund, Aubameyang missed sitters all the time. That's just the kind of player he is. He's going to miss the easy one that he should make, and then hit one that he shouldn't. So you got to take that good with the bad with him from time to time. So hopefully we can do that and challenge their keeper and make sure we don't become his 10th clean sheet of the season.
Apparently Ospina can play against us according to the Europa League rules, but he's not their number 1 anymore. He was only brought in and covered because the 2 goalies they bought in the summer from one club, I think they both got injured at the same time. The other player we're not mentioning is Kubalai. How do you say his name?
Koulibaly.
Yeah, him. He's brilliant. But I've just looked at their entire defence, and no defender from them has scored all season. And from outside of their front four, there's not really much to talk about. I mean, they're a really good team. They're going to be runners-up in Serie A. They've got some really decent defenders there, but we don't need to worry about defending tomorrow. We need to make sure that we keep a clean sheet and we go out there and get the goals. And they're not very good away from home, going by their recent form. And for me, that's the really important bit. So what do you think? What's your predictions for tomorrow then?
Yeah, I am going to say Arsenal 3-1. I do think they're going to get a goal. It's going to make it a little, it's going to make everybody's sphincter a little smaller going into Napoli. But yeah, 3-1, and I think Aubameyang and Laka are hopefully gonna go off together, and hopefully they start together. I don't have a feeling they will, but I would like them to. But I think if we start hopefully we start both of them, and they can play off each other, because I think that's when we've seen our best form this year, or in the last few months especially, is when they're playing together on the pitch, at the same time with Mesut, with Ramsey, having that front four. It just gives defenses too much to worry about with, where is Laka dropping deep from? Where is this run going to come from? We have to make sure that we don't get beat on our high line when Aubameyang's trying to make a run in behind, especially if Ozil has the ball and he's facing goal. And then where's that late run and that late ball from Ramsey going to come from? Because Ramsey's known for that late decision sort of run into the top of the box. And I think if we can really utilize that, we'll be okay. But hopefully Emery picks that.
Hopefully, yeah. Just got to be careful that we don't concede a home goal, because I mean we lost away at Callejon, we lost away at Atletico, we lost away at Bate and Rennes. So our away form is quite shocking. If we keep the clean sheet, I'm going to go for a 2-0, and then hopefully try and get back to their place and keep it maybe a 1-0 loss. But it's going to be this is going to be one of our toughest games of the season, because Napoli are a really, really good team, and as they've got nothing to play for really in Serie A, that season's virtually over. Juventus have won it. They're almost definitely going to be runners-up, and they are a goal-scoring machine. So I'm going 2-0, but it's going to be really close.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is, we didn't do ourselves any favors in the league with trying to secure top 4 on Sunday. So now we've really got to make sure, hey, nothing's guaranteed on either side. We need to make sure that we get back into Champions League next season. And it's the cliche, and you're going to hear it all over the radio and other podcasts, whatever. Now every game is basically a cup final, and we've got to treat it like that, because if we don't treat it like that in the league, we can still make Champions League by winning Europa League. If we for some reason crap ourselves in Europa League, we still control sort of our destiny in the league. So we've just got to make sure we take every single game with the same intensity and the same focus that we were lacking on Sunday. But we've got to make sure that we carry that intensity and focus into every single match the rest of the season.
Very true. Right, that's our time up. Tomorrow, the show is going to be Jason hosting with John and Ellis. #fuck Ellis, if you're watching.
Not this Jason.
No, not that Jason. No, the
Welsh one. The sweary one.
The one who's quite rude. Mr. #tappy. Anyway, so that's going to be about 10 minutes, because Chris isn't on, so maybe 5 minutes after tomorrow night's game. John will be in charge of the tech, so that it will go smoothly after the weekend's debacle. So thank you very much for joining me, Jason, not the Welsh one.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and let's hope we can actually pick up a good win tomorrow. Score some goals.
I agree with that. And that's it. Remember, people, tappy. Oh, no, I've done that 24 hours too early, haven't I? Or late, or not even on time. I'm going to press stop before.
Tappy, subscribey, whatever you want.
Oh, yeah. If you go here, there, right there where I'm pointing now, I'm going to put the subscribe thing right there. And then here and here, I'm going to put the last live show and the last podcast like that. So there and there and there.
What do you put here and here?
Oi, saucy.
Is that where my tassels go?
Hey, right. Tell me to turn this shit off, and I'll turn it off.
All right, turn that shit off.
Goodbye.